how it is with Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is. The encoder is stuck on 100%.
Stop that! It's silly. Very silly indeed.
Yeah.
Correct. That is the correct response. I think
Myself,
that was
I
a
didn't
perfect
your
stinger.
performance.
Perfect.
That was perfect, Miss.
Idiotic.
The echo and
It's
everything.
called idiotic. It's not silly. It's stupid.
No, it's called PTM appropriate.
Okay.
That's what we are, silly.
Whatever you have to say to make you feel better, I guess. It's infuriating. It's stuck on encoding when now I'm complaining. Now it's not stuck. But my video was rendering and it reached 100% and it just was stuck on it.
Sometimes
Drives
that's
me-
all it takes. Start bitching about it, start threatening your computer, it's going to comply.
No, my computer is threat free. If it's not working, it's not working. I cannot threat it. I can complain. Complaining is better because it's like a Karen move.
Well, you can ask Gerry because we hang out and watch a lot, and usually it's me hosting. And when a video starts roboting and buffering and I start cussing at it, sometimes it gets working again. So it does work.
The most important thing in the
I
world.
thought you were going to say, you can ask Gerry because he's a Karen.
Oh,
The most important thing in the world is the fact that I have finally, it took me it didn't take me all day because I had so much to do today outside of the house. So I couldn't actually sit down and edit everything. But I finally got it made. It's the Tombstone review. So I'm uploading it right now. Let's say it's about an hour plus late.
That's
Good movie, though.
I
Tombstone.
absolutely love Tombstone.
And I told you, Gerry, we chose, he had the chat and us choose a video movie for him to watch and do a review on, and then he showed us how to do a thumbnail. That's what we did Wednesday when you were out. And it was fun.
I can show it again if you want. It's my issue is I usually do my thumbnails at work, and at my work my Photoshop for some reason is stable, but here I told you because something to do with that Creative Cloud thing is annoying as hell. Is really annoying. That's why a lot of people are seeking like other methods. I know that GIMP is a good free alternative, but there are other ones. I don't remember what it was, but somebody told me about that you don't have to pay every single month or every single year for the license. You just buy it once, and it's like $35 or $40.
And that's how it should be.
It basically does what Photoshop does with a little bit of variations. They name things different, and they place them different, so you can't really say it's a full-on copy. Just like GIMP, stuff is like, let's say this: the hue and desaturation is in one window in GIMP, and it's in a different window in Photoshop. Same with the select thing. And the selection tool in Photoshop is genuinely the best because it does a lot of things for you. Think of it as, and I think I said it before, it kind of gives you broad stroke and you do the fine detail instead of you doing the whole thing, which is terribly painstaking and a lot of effort. It's not a big deal. It just saves you a little bit of time, and it gets you probably the same results. They say it's better because they have sort of feathering at the end of it. I've messed with it. It's not that big of a deal.
My big problem is the whole subscription thing. You should pay for it once and then you own it and then you pay for upgrades. But having to pay regularly so you can keep it, but you never own it really, that is a scam. That shouldn't be allowed.
Well, that's why a lot of people set sail to the high seas. The problem with Photoshop and Premiere Pro is at a certain point you can't even hijack, download, and hack it in order to upload it as a separate entity. If you look at let's say you look at Pirate Bay, okay? Go to Pirate Bay and you want to get a Premiere Pro for if you want the the pirated free version. You can't get it. You can probably get the 2021 or the 2022 version, but if you want the utmost updated version, like 2025 or 2026, you can't get it. It's not hackable anymore because when they hack it, they get pieces of it, not the whole thing.
I would say it's not hackable yet. People are working on that constantly.
Yeah,
Everything
I
is
guess.
You look very Star Trekky, by the way, in that outfit, Meth.
Star Trekky? I do have a Star
Yeah.
Trek uniform, but it's super hot, so I don't want to wear it.
It just reminds me of that, the yellow and the black color. Very Star Trekky.
Thank you.
Hello,
I do love the yellow. It used to be like bright yellow. Now it's sort of a mustardy yellow. Too many washes, I guess.
Hi.
Hey, Joe.
How you doing?
I'm good. You?
Good to see you. I just got done with my Friday show I usually do, and I wasn't going to come in here, but I got a couple of things from my dad I thought you might appreciate, Gerry, so I figured I'd stop by real quick. We've got this reunion tonight of a bunch of bartenders and nightclub managers and customers of a place called Cowboys that I used to work for back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
And hang on, I'll share it real quick for you. I had my dad take these pictures, so I cannot vouch for their quality. The first one's really bad, but the second one's pretty decent. When I worked at this club, I was the assistant promotions manager, which meant I had to decorate the club for the fucking thing. Anyway, whenever we had somebody that I really liked come through, I would do their portrait on the lobby card and get it signed by the manager afterwards. And this is my favorite one. It's a bad picture, guys. Okay. It's a bad pictures. My dad took them, but I've got two of them here. One of them is Sam Kinison, my favorite.
You gonna add him?
Yeah,
Martin?
it's sitting there
No,
waiting to be
Martin,
shared.
I know.
Yeah. This one's the Sam Kinison I did. And I know it's really bad, but that's the logo of the place. It was called Cowboys. And it says, to Joe Rivers, best wishes, Sam Kinison. He did this. This was March 17th, St. Patrick's Day of 1991. He died 3 weeks later in a head-on collision with a drunk driver. And what's fucked up is he was off of drugs. He was completely sober, and he had just gotten married and died in a 2-car crash on his way from Vegas back to Reno where he lived. And yeah, sad. But that's my pride and joy right there. I gave him my father because he's a huge autograph nut. Matter of fact, hopefully I'll inherit his Clint Eastwood one. Clint Eastwood wrote a letter on the back of the 8x10 that he signed for him, thanking him for his service in the Air Force and everything. I really want that one bad. He's got a bunch of ones like that, though. But this other one, now this is a much better picture. You can see the details much better in this one. This is a one I did of David Lee Roth. Met him in 94 when he played another club I worked at called Denim and Diamonds. And I know you know who Nagel is. Some of the people watching may not know who that is. It's an artist that used big colors and stuff in his artwork. And that's what I was shooting for in this. Using
Nagel
colors.
is known for using primary colors, but doing very simplistic pen and ink.
Yeah.
That really highlighted the thing he wanted you to look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's what I was shooting
one of the
for
big
with this.
artists of the 80s.
Yeah, big time. But anyway, this one right here, of course, you see he signed it to me on the bottom, and he put the year. I like the fact he put the year on there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because why you forget what year it was. But yeah, I just figured you get a kick out of those, man. I know you do portraits yourself sometimes and stuff, and I still want a copy of your Captain Kirk. I love the one you did of William Shatner.
Keith has the framed one, so get a hold of him.
Sure, like he'd listen to me. You don't have prints of it?
Yeah, I can get you a print.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
because I'll buy it, man. I mean, I love that one you did. You should.
Everybody
show
does, Joe.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. That thing is awesome.
Spock. Everybody loves those.
But anyway, I just figured you'd get a kick out of that, man. I figured you'd like that. How are you guys doing? I notice you're not drawing yet. What's up?
Oh, he is.
I am drawing. I just hadn't switched over.
Oh, okay. All right.
They were listening to my stupidity.
What? Really? You're not stupid, Mephisto.
No, I didn't say I was stupid. I say they were listening to my stupidity.
Your stupidity. Okay.
I'm trying to, because I can't draw, but I can do a little bit of finagling when it comes to like YouTube thumbnails. So I was trying to explain.
I can fake it like a pro.
Yeah, baby.
So you're working on thumbnails?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying, like, lately I've been really enjoying having, mastered a system that kind of works for me in terms of making stuff that I absolutely would click on if I was searching for movie reviews myself.
Gotcha.
That's the thing, because the content is there. The one thing that was really important to me is something that someone gave me an advice that he wasn't trying to sell me on. Oh, let me give you a course on YouTube. Blah 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 blah. He said that you have to make if you're making any content, first you have to love whatever you do. That's no problem. I love movies. Not like talk about movies endlessly.
Yep.
Fine. That's easy.
Yeah.
Then you have to find the audience that you want is people who love to watch the content that you make, as if you would watch that content yourself. I don't like to listen to myself talk that much because I edit myself, so I keep like listening to myself talk regardless. But then I have to listen to the whole thing and try to enjoy it and get some extra thing from it. And the more I do it, the more I actually like the content that is produced on my show, on my YouTube. Okay, that's sorted. Okay, that's one of the best advice I got. And I think that when I do enjoy whatever I make as a separate thing, I know that I've done a good job. So the content is there. Now, the next hurdle is to get people to click on that thumbnail and actually watch the thing. Because even if they do like movies, if the thumbnail doesn't look right, they won't click it. So they won't know they like what you have to give them. Right?
Absolutely. You got to catch their eye. Because look, when they search for the movie that you're talking about, they're going to see how many thumbnails of that very same movie, right? You've got to stand out in that bunch, some way, shape, or form. Yeah, I get where you come from, man.
And the more I started to work on the actual thumbnail, I saw an increase of people coming in. Yeah. As soon as I changed a little bit and made it better or made it more clickable, I would say. Going by like literal of psychological profiles of how to do thumbnails. I know it's a little bit YouTube nerdy. However, when I'm satisfied with that to get to the format that I want to get to, absolutely fine with it. I'm okay. Now it's luck. It's all down to luck. So I've done my part. I've done my part.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
That sounds like you're coming from the right perspective when you're trying to get people to more people to see your stuff. Yeah, I've even watched videos on how to create thumbnails. Have you ever done that? Just search that. There's people out there that will teach you how to do it, and the biggest things they say is to keep it simple, and they tell you one thing I've heard and I've started to do with my own thumbnails is they're coming there to see you put your face in the thumbnail somehow, either a reaction shot or something like that. But they really suggest that. So
there's a massive difference here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they would if they know you. If they don't know you, don't put your face on the thumbnail.
What is that fella's name that does all the movie reviews?
We've probably seen the same video, but it's nothing new. I've heard it time and time again. Dude, I've been down the rabbit hole of going into like people who teach you how to do YouTube correctly.
Yeah.
They have, and you look at their channels, and some of them have hundreds of thousands of people. Some of them have tens of thousands of people.
Right.
I've seen a few of these guys that are literally regurgitating the same thing with 2,000 subs, 5,000 subs. And I was like, first of all, the advice itself is not terrible. It's a good advice.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe you because you're literally reading off a script that says, "Oh, I've helped dozens of other YouTube channels to get to their first 100,000." And I was like, you have 5,000 subscribers, sir. How did you help another channel to get to 100,000? I don't believe what you're saying.
Right?
The worst are the ones who use AI voice too. That's such a turn off.
Usually, most of these channels have a link in the description for some sort of a website that promises you courses on how to improve your thing. It's like, okay, I get it. So the advice of what you're saying is not terrible. It's just too general. So if you're coming to this and you have no idea, then these advices are really good. They're solid advices. That's fine. But if you're already in the groove of it and let's say you have 1,000 subscribers already, and you've passed that milestone of, yes, you're monetized with 1,000 subscribers plus, but you're a very small channel at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Those advices are way too general for you.
Yep.
And you have
they keep it general too because of what you said about them offering courses. Well, they're going to keep it general. They're not going to give you any details. Pay this much money for the details, right?
But the problem is you probably won't get detailed enough in the courses. And
not at all.
Look, it's just $50. It's just $40. It's just, $20.
Yep.
However, I don't know. If you want a one-on-one specific with a person that has, let's say they have more than 100,000, then I will say, okay, I believe you, or I will trust you with your sage advice. And even then,
I totally believe you.
Yeah,
exactly. And you're so cheap, Gerry. Nobody paid you
to put my money.
Yeah. It's very hard for me to trust all these channels. However, like I said, they do have a generally good advice, and it is very hard to come up with an idea and make sure it's the correct one. And even then, you don't even know. I said it. I don't remember if it was on stream or off stream. I had a really good, solid thumbnail for Sin City, and it's the video just did not do well. Then
wow,
it is what it is.
Yeah. I tell you, the best advice I ever got when I started YouTubing was first time I met those Friday Night Tights guys at a meetup. All of them were telling me, that. I was a member of Comics Division's membership, and he used to do a stream once a month with all his members, and I'd go on there. And Comics always told me, he said, look, just be authentic in anything you do. He said, as far as trying to get more followers and stuff like that, he said it's really a crapshoot. Put in the work and you'll get them eventually. It's just you got to be authentic in what you do. You can't come across as somebody you're not. You know what I mean? So that's what I've always tried to do.
I'm totally real.
We know you're real, Gary.
There's nothing phony about me.
The thing about it, Joe, that's a great advice. And I like, he is 100% correct.
Yeah.
The only problem is with YouTube. Yes, it's a crapshoot. Yes, you have to be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
However, if they don't click on the thing,
they don't watch.
It's worthless.
That's it.
It's worthless. Mm-hmm. So, I'm on that grind. And the thing about for me is I really do enjoy what I do. So I'm just keep on going. It's so crazy because I feel the need to put in 3 videos a week. It's not mandatory. It's just sort of
what you want to do.
Yeah, it's sort of a line that I put for myself, as in get off your ass and do the work.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult. Sometimes it's very frustrating. Like today, the thing about Tombstone. Tombstone is a really good movie.
Tombstone is totally jerking.
Yes. Tombstone is a really good movie, but if you're looking for a clip that is only 7 seconds long, you will be sorely looking in a needle in a haystack, because they speak and stop and then speak again and stop, because they're trying to convey that mood, especially Val Kilmer with that he has that face of where he's serious, but also on the dime he flips to like smiling.
Yep.
And it's all about acting, and everybody does it. Everybody. Russell does it. Sam Elliott does it. Even Bill Paxton, that doesn't really have a lot of lines and a lot of stuff to do in there.
Right.
Really good.
Yep.
But
you got to. Yeah, I know where you're coming from, man. I hate getting dinged for clips. I hate that. I hate having to go back and edit it out and all that shit. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But I'm Your Huckleberry doesn't take more than a couple of seconds. So.
It's in there. It's technically the clip I had was 5.5 seconds, and I got both Michael Biehn and Val Kilmer in that very thing. And the thing about it, because I don't want to spoil the movie. My reviews are like spoiler free, just in case somebody that never watched the movie. At least he has a little bit of an idea of what's going on, but not too much. It is the ending scene technically, but I don't show the whole scene. I just show the most famous line of it. So I didn't think it would be that much of an issue.
Nah.
If you have no context, you don't even know where it is in the movie.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't really spoil the sort of surprise that's going on in there. But if you know where it's from, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But I do love to get into
guys, I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
Go.
But I do like to go into the research. It's always fun for me to go into the research, because I always find things that I've never heard before about, like Kurt Russell being the sort of director of it without getting credit.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. The writer of Tombstone, the screenplay writer of the Tombstone actually was given the director's chair, and it was his first director's gig. But he was too overwhelmed. And the studio, after about a month in, the studio was like, like, you're way behind on your shooting schedule. It's too much for you. We're bringing in like a ringer, or we're bringing in a different director. And they got the director that did Rambo 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Casamatos. And if you've ever watched the interviews with him, Mephisto, with some of the cast, Woo! Sean Bean wouldn't even talk to. I mean, Michael Bean wouldn't even talk to him.
Yeah, you know why?
He even told him, "You don't talk to me." And
You know why?
yeah,
Gary?
but you go ahead and say.
He was Kevin Jarre's best friend. Kevin Jarre is the screenplay writer.
Oh boy.
The thing about it is it's Kurt Russell that technically directed the movie.
He kept it put together, is what they
George,
said.
yeah, and George was the one that was technically in charge of making sure everything is looking correctly and all that stuff. And he was really mean to the cast and crew. Nobody liked him. But in terms of Russell was the one that went to the producer. Was it Jack? Something Jacks. He went to the producer and was like, "Look, these subplots just don't go anywhere, and we have to cut them in order to focus on like Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday in the movie. So make sure that it's focused on them rather than it's just going all over the place. Because there's stuff, you know, if you remember the movie, there's stuff with his wife that kind of leads into nowhere.
Yeah.
She's like drinking opium, and Wyatt Earp goes with Josephine. That's Dana Delaney's character. And they kind of start flirting, but it really doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, it went somewhere. It just was cut from the movie. There was a lot more of Bill Paxton and Sam Elliott's like home life and that sort of a thing, just to make sure you kind of develop that their character and why Virgil like decided to actually pick up being the lawman, and why Bill Paxton, his brother Morgan, right? Morgan wanted to, you know, help his brother, and how everything kind of dragged into all that. Because in the movie, it kind of happens really fast between like Virgil, like saving this kid.
Well, they kind of got it historically
coach.
backwards because his brother was Marshall early on. Wyatt was, and they were all lawmen.
But Russell distinctly said that this is all fiction. This is not historically correct.
That's why you forget
they said it. Yeah. Plus, it was all based on a book that was written like 2 years after Wyatt Earp died. Because the whole OK Corral thing was not known when he was alive. It's a person writing a book. I think it's called American Frontier. Or the first movie was called American Frontier, and the book was called something in the American Frontier, something about that.
Yeah.
So the whole tale of the OK Corral was really hyped up because of a book and like the first movie. That whole myth about that place. But it was very mundane. Let's just say
I was fixing to say it was an extremely short gunfight, no doubt.
Yeah.
They wiped them out.
Yeah, about a minute. Something like that. I've seen a
It was a very
documentary on
short
the History
gunfight.
Channel.
It's not as big and as epic as they make it out to be.
No.
But look, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for this reunion. So I just want to stick my head in and say hi. And I apologize for not being here Wednesday because, dude, my old ass fell asleep.
I had no internet, so.
Yeah, Martin let me, because I went to check in on it and it was like 4:15 and the credits were rolling. I was like, oh my God, they ended way early. What's going on here? All right, guys, be good. It was good to see you again, Mephisto. Take care.
Good to talk to you, man.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Now you can tell this guy's a gentleman because he's pinky out.
I wanted to ask you all the time, is that based on you? Because the way his hair parts on his forehead, that's how you draw yourself? And you always stick your pinky out when drinking.
Isn't that based on like the bird cage?
Yeah, totally.
No, that's just based on Gerry being gay. But that could be based on Gerry. The beard, the hair, the pinky. Helen Place is here. We have a couple of people in the chat. Do you want to
I saw John Osteen is here, so I put the wig on for him.
I know, and he celebrated it, and I called you a cheap whore because you put it on without anyone paying you for it. I thought that was the deal. People need to pay you.
Well, this was just for
wearing
him.
that itchy thing. Okay.
This is for John.
He appreciates it. Ariel calls you Gerry. As in gay. Re?
Okay. Well, Bush is here, and for Bush.
Hey, Bush.
Oof.
He did some more food things in the chat. I don't know if you guys have seen them.
No, I haven't.
Well, you know what he's like. When he's cooking, we get food porn.
Mm.
Hell no, definitely not. I know that thing is itchy as fuck, so I'm good.
This is done. It's live. Even have a pretty nice snazzy title. Sorry.
You know I'm not Bush. Fuck you.
Wait, what did he say? Bald?
Yeah.
Maybe bald. Maybe bald with a O.
Yeah, that yes. That I am.
Very bold with an O.
No, I have hair almost down to my waist. It doesn't get that long anymore now that I'm getting old. But
well, you're tiny, so that's not much of a distance.
No, I mean it would grow like below the waistband of my jeans if I didn't cut it all the time. When I was a teenager, it was crazy.
My daughter has like Shirley Temple curls, and she's always annoyed that like other girls have like straight hair. I asked one of her girlfriends what kind of hair that they would love, and they said like my daughter's.
Tail is all this time, Matt. You always want what you can't have.
The grass is green is always on the other side. It is what it is. I mean, she like my daughter is really lucky. She really does have the Shirley Temple curls, which are really desirable. If you already have curls, then you might as well get those curls. Because you don't have to do anything with them except for like brushing them.
I hope she'll get to appreciating them one day. Because you really always want what you don't have with your hair. I've been there.
You know what's crazy? And I keep saying it to my wife. It's like our kids will not appreciate what we do for them until they kind of get out of the house or about like 25, at age around 25. And it kind of coincides with when your brain is kind of settled into who you are. But I think it's true. Maybe it'll happen for them earlier because they have the army service. Regardless if it's like because you can be in the army and be home every day. It really depends on what job do you do. Because if you're in like I don't know, intelligence or even if you're not like in that sort of position, if you're in the I don't remember the name of the corps in English, but the people who do personnel, right? There's a corps for personnel that deal with like the entire army in terms of, salaries, all the mundane stuff. So people
human resources,
human resource, whatever you want to call it, right? But they deal with people, right? So you have to have people dealing with that sort of a job. Then if they go to that, they're probably going home every single day. So they're living technically here while being a soldier. But if they do something more, I don't know, more interesting or let's say more combative, then they won't be here for the most part, most of the time. So they'll gain the appreciation of what we do for them in terms of clothings, food, all that stuff. And especially when they leave the house and they have to deal with all this shit themselves, like taxes, water bill, gas bill, all the regular bills that everybody has, regardless of where you're living. Like the normal day-to-day grind and stuff. That's when you get the appreciation of what your parents did for you. So
That's why you should
we'll
teach
see.
your kids that shit while they are still home.
That's what we do. Like they know how to make themselves like breakfast. Like if they want to, they can make themselves some pasta, eggs in the morning, like nice little Cuban toast or whatever, grilled pressed toast. So they can sustain themselves if they want to, but they can also make like a nice little baked salmon as well, because they know how to do it. They just they saw us do it countless times. They just haven't dealt with it. Same goes with like making like a nice bolognese sauce for the pasta. You can't just make a sauce and like pour stuff into a pot, stir it, and it's a sauce. It's not that difficult.
Out of a jar. That's how they do it nowadays.
No, out of a jar here. No.
Oh, no, I grew up cooking from scratch, and I grew up helping to raise my siblings, like from when I was 10 on. So nothing surprised me when I moved out, except for how incompetent some of my roommates were. Gerry, there's something interesting that Ariel brought up.
What's that?
She says, I live next to Lemoore Naval Air Station. When you were on bases, did you hear stories of wives leaving brooms, mops, head up in front of door to let the MPs know? What's that about?
Let the
So they could have
as in ready for sex?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never
because
heard of that.
That could be two things. One, I'm ready for my affair, or two, I'm alone in the house, keep an eye on me. But you've never heard of that, okay?
Nope.
Let's see if you get this movie reference. In The Witcher 3, that's not a movie reference, that's a game reference. None of you show up. There's a card game called Gwent. Yes, that's the main card game inside the game Witcher 3. During a tournament, you win a sword called the Blave. Of course, it is to blave. To blave, which means to bluff. Oh, which actually, I have a show and tell. Hold on.
And Ostain says right answer, Gerry. You're making points with this one tonight.
Right one for what?
The
answer you
MPs
gave
and
about
the
the brooms and mops. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know.
So my brother went to the U.S. He just got back. He got me a little something in New York.
A little something, something?
It's just a fridge magnet.
The fuck?
It's marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. That dream within a dream. You have not seen The Princess Bride?
It's been a while.
Oh, first of all, it is my wife's
marriage.
favorite. Yeah, Gerry, look.
There we go, marriage.
Exactly. So it's my wife's favorite movie of all time, and it's mine somewhere in my top 20. I don't remember where exactly it is. Let me see. Let me open up the ye old flick chart.
Flick chart.
Yeah. It's the program I use to do our second game, but it's generally speaking, it helps me kind of figure out where my top 20 is. It is number 5 on my top 20 at the moment.
I still haven't figured out how to do these lists.
Oh, you're talking about the tier lists. No. Mine is a little bit different.
Whatever list. I can't make lists.
You can't make well, the thing about it is
I don't know enough stuff to begin with, I think.
Okay. The whole point of it's a website called Flickchart or flickchart.com. You sign in for free. Doesn't cost anything. What it does, it's literally ranking movies. So it gives you 2 options and you literally choose this or the other, regardless of what you think is good, bad, or whatever. You just choose one. If you choose enough, then it starts ranking things. Usually what happens is you have a movie that is your favorite regardless of any other movie. So you have like, let's say mine is The Shawshank Redemption. I cannot rank anything above Shawshank Redemption. So if I have Shawshank Redemption in any other movie, I would choose Shawshank Redemption. The more times it happens, the more it goes up the list when it gets to number 1. But it can change on a dime, because if you finally find a movie that you rank above Shawshank Redemption, for me, it literally automatically puts it at number 1. But then if you find something that's better than it changes. It's a weird ranking system, but that's how that website does it.
It's a cool system, but here's why it wouldn't work for me. I would probably constantly get offered 2 movies to choose between that I've never seen.
Mm.
And what do you do then? Pick the title you like better?
I've seen a lot of movies, and if I get a movie that I've never seen before, there's a little button underneath that says I have not seen it. It technically has 3 buttons, one for each movie and another one that says I have not seen both. So it just throws them into the pile of I have not seen it, and it flashes 2 new movies. 2 other movies, actually.
I could try that, because when I started to be a regular, the guys were trying to get me into the game that they would do for TGIF back then with their top 10 lists, and I'm like, guys, I don't do lists. I don't know how. I can't. I don't know enough shit to do them.
Yeah, and the only
I could probably get together like 10 movies that I really, really like, but how do I rank them? I suck at
that. How dare you not? You know what? All the Ernest series, we didn't get them here that much. It wasn't like, look, most of the movies that I've seen in theaters, I've seen after I was 12 or 13. Yeah, even 14. I mean, I have seen movies in the theaters prior to 13, but not many. So most of the movies I've seen, let's say in the 80s, I got them on VHS. So I grew up on movies that are like from 1970 or 71. To me, it was just as new or brand new as a movie from 1986 that I've watched in 1987 because it was on VHS. Movies that I've seen in the theater that when I was like a little boy, my aunt used to take me during the 80s. Disney, at least where I lived, Disney put out like a not a remaster, but a re-release of the old Disney pictures. So I've seen the original Snow White, original Dumbo, original Pinocchio, original Bambi, like all the Cinderella, all those I've seen in a theater with my aunt between the ages of 5 and 7,
Dumbo was one of the few movies we had
more
at
or
home
less.
growing up in the 80s, 90s.
So literally, I've seen them on a big screen even before I've seen them on a VHS. And I'm not really I'm not really a Disney guy. I'm more of a Warner Brothers guy in terms of cartoons. But, you don't have a choice when you're 5. You really don't have a choice when you're 5. But I distinctly remember having that experience with my aunt, which is, great. The thing is, most of the movies during the 80s, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, is the only movie I've seen with my dad in a theater. Most of the stuff that I watched with my dad was on VHS. Y'all want to see a giant effing asparagus? No, thank you, Bush.
Yeah,
No,
I don't
thank
think we do.
Not a real reviewer. I don't know what's real or what's fake. The thing about Ernest is we never got it over here, not on VHS. And if I didn't get it on VHS, by the time I got older, about 1990, 1991, we had cable with 3 separate movie channels. One of them was mostly like drama all the time. Drama, like movies that a young teenager wouldn't be so interested in. The other 2 were pretty much of a mix between action, sci-fi, adventure, westerns, like everything in between. So the one channel would be like Steel Magnolias and I don't know, Out of Africa, or those kind of things, or Philadelphia. But the other 2 would be like Terminator and I don't know, Rio Bravo and Le Mans and all over the place. And during this time, like Passover time, which is our big holiday, usually what it used to be is they call it like Passover action. So around Passover, it's kind of like Christmas, where you have the between Christmas and New Year's, like a week where it's just 3 movie channels with just action movies. 60s, 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Fantastic.
A lot of Schwarzenegger, I guess.
A lot of everything.
Yeah.
A lot of everything. Like old action movies from the 70s mixed in with Stallone, basically the big 4, Van Damme, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Willis, that sort of a thing.
You said the name.
Chuck Norris.
I haven't
You
seen
said
Tom
the
Baker
name.
yet, so you said.
Yes, Tom Baker is gonna appear soon.
Yeah,
Van
now
Damme?
he's going to come. Yeah, he hates
Yes.
him.
Now, what's this about him getting arrested for?
I don't know. I don't know what the
sleeping
hell
with
is
an
wrong
underage
with
girl over in Europe.
I don't know what's going on in Romania. They just love to arrest people for that kind of a thing, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
apparently he got arrested for it. I was like listening to stuff last night, going, "Holy shit! Nobody's safe from being a fucking pedo."
I'm really not surprised. I don't think he was I don't think it was underage trafficking. I think it was human trafficking.
Well, they added that into the story. That it was.
I didn't hear about underage. I heard about like young girls, as in 19, 18, 19, 20, 21. But I don't know.
How old is he though? That's almost pedo.
60s, in his
65.
60s.
He's 3 times their age. That's just wrong and sick.
Well, I don't
If it's
think
true,
he
I
slept
don't know.
with them all. I think he sold them according to what
Fuck.
the arrest sheet. As in, he's the big poppy.
That is just wow.
Yeah. But Also, what's his face? That idiot. Bush, please help me. The idiot that was stuck with his brother in Romania for a long time because they had the same charges on him, and eventually that just gone away. Same charges, by the way. I don't remember his name. He's so
Well,
like
Andrew
he's
Tate.
one of those alpha dudes.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. Yeah. Andrew Tate.
That
Him
one.
and his brother were in Romania for the longest time on the same kind of charges. And it kind of started with, yes, it's underage. Then it's, no, not really underaged. And then it kind of went away.
And listen,
I
at
don't
19, you're still a teenager. Even at 20, your brain is nowhere near
No, what
the
he's
level,
saying
so you're an
is
adult,
it may
so-
not even be true.
It
Well,
could
you
be it's
never
not
know.
true. So I've no idea. Let's just say, ever since the Depp trial, when I hear stuff about that, well, technically ever since the whole Me Too era, every time I hear about a guy that is mixed up in that, I don't automatically condemn the guy.
I was just going to say, Me Too ruined a lot.
Yeah, because you cannot differentiate between the real assholes, Harvey Weinstein and co., and the I want to get rid of him to actually get his job kind of a
Or
thing.
I just want attention. Females have been doing it just to get attention. And this is just wrong. That upsets me to no end.
That's why
Penny
every
is
time
here, by the way.
every time I hear stuff about that, I was like, I'm gonna stay out and not like publicly say something, because even if he did do it, let's just say he did do it. What happens if he does go to court and then found not guilty?
He's still ruined.
Even if he did do it, then he's still not guilty. So yeah, exactly. You're in a place where, oh, I know he did it, but he was found not guilty in a court of law. So is he guilty or is he not? Did he actually do it or did he not? And you're still in that limbo. And if you're like the established media, then you're fucked. The guy is fucked, regardless. So,
I mean,
I don't know.
even if the woman comes through and says, yeah, I made it up, it wasn't that bad, or it wasn't like that at all, the guy's reputation is still ruined.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
That's where I really
Like,
have a
he's
problem
cooked.
with it. Like, you do it for attention or to get back at him or whatever fucked up reason, you destroy his life if he is really shit out of luck. So
D-Bud had to go, so bye, D-Bud.
bye, D-Bud.
Take it easy, D-Bud.
See ya, D-Bud.
I've
Thanks
seen
for the
one-
shout
Wade. I think Wade is here too.
Yes, Wade is here.
Let him come on.
Yeah, you can join us.
Okay.
I mean, if it's okay with Gary.
The more the
No.
merrier.
Gary says no. Fuck off.
Gary isn't allowed
Wade
to say
can
no
join us.
because Wade is his fanboy. He always look at the chat. Wade will always say stuff like Gary's awesome and shit like that.
He's
No
playing you,
fucking
Gary.
way Gary gets to deny him to come on
He's
the show.
playing you. Nah, Wade's all right. We had
I
a
like
great conversation Wednesday, right?
And he had a cute
I
dog.
thought it was good. I really felt like I helped him out with that whole GIMP thing.
Oh yeah,
kind
you taught him a lot. That was
broke
interesting too.
broke his it's like, okay, the perception is this costs money, so I can't really afford it. Might as well just wait for Photoshop, but no, I can actually use this today for free, and it does not the same but close. And that's the whole point, is you can get to probably the same result with just a better software than Paint. I don't mind it. It's fine.
Wait, I sent you an invite.
GIMP was a very
Check.
interesting thing. It was very interesting. Thanks. Yeah, like anybody in the chat who Like, never heard about GIMP. I know the name is unfortunate, a little unfortunate, a little bit. But if you look at the icon, the program icon, it's a little cat with instead of a cigarette, it's sort of a brush in his mouth. So, you can't really be mad at them for the name. Plus, what's the good thing about it is on YouTube, there's plenty of people who are masters of both programs, and they give you great tutorials on how to do the same things that Photoshop does in GIMP. And that, for me, that got me started because I've used GIMP before I started Photoshop. So,
Well, from Rumble, Low Spec Linux Gaming, he agrees with you. He's praising GIMP. Says
yeah,
GIMP is good, not Photoshop, but open source, have to learn different workflow. Yes.
Yeah.
It's an acronym. Yes, it's a graphical image manipulation program. They really wanted to call it GIMP.
I wasn't making a Pulp Fiction reference, but if you want me to, bring on the GIMP.
You see, the cat shouldn't have a brush in his mouth. It should have a Red Bull.
Why, Martin? Whatever do you mean? Hey, Sander.
Cats play with balls.
Yeah. Balls of
my
yarn.
cat plays with everything because you just mentioned the cat shouldn't have a brush. You don't know how many toothbrushes I had to trash because the cat got to them and decided to play with them.
He wasn't
have
playing with them.
Here.
He wasn't playing with them. He was trying to make them into a shiv. Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Zed's dead.
Man, I love that movie.
Yeah, I love the scene in which he is clearly mad at her, but he's no, baby, no. And then he gets in the car. What, motherfucker?
What movie are we talking about now?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, that one. I have to rewatch that. It's been too long. I don't remember anything except that I've seen it.
Tell you what, though, that scene where Travolta comes out of the bathroom.
Toilet. Yeah.
And
you should have taken it in with you.
Yeah. He gets dispatched. I was in the theater watching this because I was in a theater where I should have been in. And you could hear people gasp. Like,
why?
Because Travolta never dies. Travolta's always the good guy, even when he's a criminal. And he's like, gets killed. And you hear people like,
well,
in the movie theater.
He surely died in
and you know what? I've also seen it in like an art house theater in, I think it was 1999. I was in the Army for sure. So it's either 2000 or 1999. I saw it in a rescreening. It's like a Sunday. It's called Sunday Culture. So before you go back to the base, if you're in training, not when you're actually doing like combat stuff, if you're in training, they take you out and you go to see a play or a musical or a movie, but it has to be like culturally significant. So they took us out, and apparently a lot of people have not seen Pulp Fiction in 1999 or 2000, even though everybody in the theater was generally my age, right? They're all soldiers. They're all doing the same service at the same time. So the difference is between at most 2 or 3 years, essentially. And I heard the same reaction. I'm not even joking. Because people who haven't seen it were like, oh, we're shocked. Remember, after Pulp Fiction, he did Broken Arrow, where he was the villain, but he also did
And he died.
Phenomenon. Yeah, he also did Phenomenon, where he also died.
Yes.
But he also did Face
Yep.
Off. And Face
Oh,
Off,
that movie sucked. I hated
he
it.
played the good guy and the bad guy, but
So he died and stayed alive.
he was alive at the end. So he's the good guy. He's
That
alive
movie
at the
made
end.
no sense. It was so
I love that movie.
stupid.
It's so
I-
cheesy.
Dude,
It's so
he's not
good.
I
understanding the
hate that
film.
movie. I hate that movie with a corrosive passion.
Thank you,
But
Martin.
but hear me out. When I see what I do like is seeing people that love that movie talk about that movie. Oh no, that was the worst offense of all. Yes,
It's the
your
best.
face is not attached to your muscle. No. It's just like a plastic bag put on.
Exactly,
your
right?
skull.
And Gary, I heard what you said, so fuck you.
I didn't hear it, Gerry.
He
Say
said
it
I don't
again.
understand.
You
the
guys
movie.
don't
Going-
understand the
Fuck you.
film, what it was trying to do.
Get Shorty is a good example. Like, just think about the movies that came out after 1994 up till 1999. He was generally considered a good guy. Even like, when was The Punisher with what's his face?
Yes.
2004.
That 2004, right? And this was before Swordfish. So before 2000. So yeah, 1999. So he was regarded as the good guy. And in 1994, it was before he did any villain work. So he was the Saturday Night Fever guy. He was the that sort of a thing. He was the Look Who's Talking guy. So he wasn't considered a villain or a criminal before, and now he's just shooting Marvin in the face. He's like, he's taking Mia out. He's like doing drugs, all that stuff. So he's completely out of character. Yeah, in Get Shorty, he was a mafia guy, but he was regarded as the guy who just wanted to step away and make it in the movie business because he loved movies and he wanted
It's
to
based on
like-
the Jewish gangster, Bugsy Siegel.
Hey, welcome, Wade.
What's
Yeah.
up? Sorry I'm late.
Hi,
Oh,
Wade.
your microphone
Hey,
is
Wade.
loud.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah, it's way too loud.
Sorry.
Just
All
right.
tune it down a little bit.
How is that? Is that better?
Yeah, it's
better,
great.
yeah.
It's
StreamYard
awesome.
likes to fuck with your equipment. It keeps switching my microphone to my camera mic, which is absolutely horrible. And I'm
I was
where's
on-
the logic in switching to
Anima.
a camera for mic when there's a mic attached?
I don't get it. I
It
was
switches my microphone and my headphones during stream. It has
It did
done
it to
that
me
shit to
while I
me
was
like
talking
5
to
times.
Gerry. Yeah, I know.
I don't
Fuck you,
get it
StreamYard. Get your
because
shit together.
I was on Joe's stream like earlier, and then he said it was quiet, so I don't get it. But anyways, I'm used to using like a video game headset. But anyways,
It's all right.
What's up?
That headset microphone was pretty good.
I was worried. Yeah, it was funny. I had my word. No, I had the craziest comment on the live stream, not during the live stream, but after the fact. I'm like, seriously? I never take comments serious. I mean, I'll read them, but I'm like, okay. But anyway, anyways, how are you guys doing?
We're good, I think.
How are you, Gary?
I am doing fine. I'm drawing, so I'm always happy when I'm drawing.
You're better than me. For at least this is the first better day weather-wise here for a while. But
Yeah, the weather was so nice here. It was blue skies, sun out. I was up way too early after a night. That I didn't get a second of sleep last night because I was so nervous about an appointment I had on the unemployment agency. They fucked up, scheduled me an hour early, but my appointment didn't change, so I had to kill an hour in the sunlight. And by the time I was back home after my appointment, there was no way I could go back to sleep.
Wait,
So-
but wait. So they scheduled it, or
I had my scheduled appointment for 10 a.m. And then
Yeah.
yesterday, they always, the day before, they sent you a reminder, by the way, don't forget your appointment is. And it was an hour early. And I was like, okay, they switched it for whatever reason. So I showed up an hour early, only to find out now my appointment is at 10. So I had an hour to kill.
oh,
Out in the
okay, that's what
sunshine,
I
and
thought.
that
I'm
just,
like,
that just
what?
woke me up, even though I didn't get sleep last night. So it took me hours
Okay,
after
guys.
getting home.
Guys, we had a bridge,
Yep.
so we have to
Awesome
we
one.
have to honor it. Thank you, awesome
Okay.
one. And here's your video.
Let's go out the back way. Keep those IDs coming.
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
I love that movie.
Yes, Reed, that is a Bob Ross wig.
I absolutely love that movie. I know it's horrible. It's
also-
not good. God damn, I love that movie.
The thing with clips like that is we watch the movie because we're doing a show about the movie, and then there's a backdoor in it. So I make Gerry clip it, and then we use it on the show where we discuss the movie, and then the clip goes somewhere down the drain and disappears in our video clip, so we never use it again.
At least
Yeah,
you
kind of.
have more clips than I do. But anyways,
We have so many, we have to delete them when we make new ones.
hey, I'm not gonna make the missile or whatever.
Mephisto. It's fine.
Anyway, you're on Twitter, aren't you?
Yeah.
Why can I not? For some reason, I can't.
Same name. Just copy this. I write this on everything I am. I don't write
That's
like
what I
the
thought.
real Mephisto or it's this.
Well, sometimes
I
people
don't-
have to add the thing because the name is taken by somebody else, so they need to add something.
Yeah.
I've been lucky with my name so far.
Mine is
Okay, my only reason why I added the reel was because my private Twitter is not the clips part is normal, so that's why I added it. But I mean, public one versus a private. That's
You have a
only why.
private Twitter and a public Twitter?
Yes,
Gerry
like
has too.
no, I mean a private as in like my personal. Like
yeah, I get it.
what
I get it.
That's what I. I mean, it's
I
just
have two for a reason because my original one was really for business, and I didn't want my family on it.
yes.
'Cause I have a very big extended family, and so I removed them from one and created a second one, just so I could post shit for them.
No, that's
Exact-
Facebook you're talking about, Gerry. We're talking about
On
Twitter.
Twitter, I only have one account.
No, you have your personal and you have the Pop Culture Minefield account.
Oh, that's not
Oh.
my account. That's
You
our
post them
account.
both, though.
Yeah.
Well, I don't differentiate between my Twitter. I don't have any like secondary account. If I want to put my family on, I just put a picture of my family. I'm not too worried about it. I'm well aware.
I don't want my politics on our.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what I
exactly
did
what-
recently. That's
exactly
what I
why
did
I did
recently.
it. Exactly why I did it. I was more political before I started. More political stuff on Twitter. But I mean, nothing crazy, but it's not like I want it out and about.
I post a lot of pro Adolf stuff.
I wouldn't go that far for me, but you get my point. Anyways, besides the
I'm
point.
being facetious.
Hey, I followed you on Twitter, Mephisto.
All right, cool.
I don't know why I wasn't. I don't know.
It's not like I'm posting like smart things. I occasionally do like on this day, so and so years ago this came out, or I do like a tribute to somebody who died, or I just post something movie related, or I sometimes retweet this game studio. Um, they're working on a game that kind of looks like an old timey 30s cartoon, black and white, but it's actually a first person shooter game. It's called a Mouse PI, and they started working on it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's like a Mickey Mouse.
It kind of looks like a
knockoff.
Mickey Mouse game, but they don't call it Mickey Mouse. They call it Mouse PI. But
Yes, I heard
all
about
of the
that.
all of the characters, including the main guy, kind of look like Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse. It's
Oh, they've got a Steamboat Willie movie coming out now where it's a
Go.
killer.
Yeah, it's just like they did with
the
Winnie the
trade-
Pooh.
The copyright is off.
Yeah.
So it looks good. Looks gross.
But the
I'm
game,
good.
I don't know. It looks like fun. It's nothing serious. It's just nice shoot 'em up game. So I'm interested. And every time they post something, like what they do is I think it's a really small team, so it's not a big AAA studio. So they post a lot of stuff on their Mouse PI account that are like production stuff. Oh, we did this. Look at how we did it, kind of a thing. And it's always interesting. So I always retweet it because it's fun. And, it doesn't take, it's nothing off my pocket. So why not give them a boost? And if the game is actually good when it comes out, then, win for me. And if it's not, then I didn't lose anything. And it's not political. I try to keep the political stuff off. Yeah, it's called Mouse PI. It's on Steam at the moment, but it's only on, like, you can wish list it. And I don't even think they have a release date. Or it's under like coming soon, because I don't think it's
I haven't heard that it's been released yet.
No,
That's what I like about.
it's definitely not released yet. And you can't even buy it, so you can't even support them by pre-ordering the game, because they don't have a release date. And if you don't have a release date, Steam doesn't allow you to do a pre-order. Only when there's a fixed release date, then they can start making pre-order stuff. Because Steam works with PayPal a lot, and PayPal, one of the rules, if you do PayPal and you do like pre-order, you have to give a specific date, even if it's like 3 months in advance. That's why Eric had a lot of problems with PayPal, because PayPal doesn't allow like crowdfunding. And when he first did, when he did ISOM 1, it was like 75 days, and he put it up as a pre-order, and it kind of got flagged on PayPal as crowdfunding for some reason. I don't know why, how, I never got into it.
Right.
So they delayed about $1.5 million fucking money, which
with Eric
it
July.
would stress.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Eric. Didn't I say
I don't
Eric
know
July?
Eric.
Yeah. Sorry, Eric. I meant Eric July. Sorry.
What the fuck's he talking about?
Ripperverse.
Yeah, I know now. I figured it out. I said his fucking name.
Speaking
But
about
at
figuring
first I was
things
really
out,
confused.
do you want to let us know what's happening in the panel you were drawing?
As far as plot,
Yeah.
this is the build up to the third act. This is Bill and John are watching these guys on monitors. And he has pushed them. I don't want to tell too much.
But that's in that van, right? Where he leaves the door open and makes jokes.
Yeah, it's an old ambulance that he
Yeah.
converted to their little mobile lab where he can put up drones, or in this case, he broke into the bar and he put cameras in Mike's system to listen to everything. So that's what's going on here. And
That ambulance is one
they
of my
get
favorite scenes too.
they get the information leading to the big car bowling scene. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
The whole thing
All
is
I get to
fun.
say. I do have a. I need to save this. I always forget to save. I start working.
That's not a good idea.
I just hope the car survives.
Do you want to show them the first one that you sent me last night? The
I'll
harbor?
show two. I'll show these two panels right now. Which one? What?
The harbor in the dark with the water. I love
Oh,
that. How do you draw water like that?
I look at water. I use
Then that's it.
references.
Zero
I use
talent.
references.
Zero talent here. That just really impressed me because it looks so good. That one, yeah.
These are the two pages I was working on last night and a little bit today. I'll finish that one later. This is the shot of him leaving, and he's talking to the ghost that haunts him, which isn't a real ghost; it's in his
The
head.
little boy.
Yeah, he's haunted from this kid, and this is his confrontation with Rollins. I'm going to take out the dialogue so you can't see what's going on.
Just the one on the note. That's how he leaves notes. Sticking a knife in somebody's chest, pinning the note to them. I love that.
I'm going to leave a message. I'm going to leave a message for your boss.
I can tell you how he draws water. He thinks
Really?
of a man and he takes away reason and accountability.
Accountability.
Fuck you, Murph.
Hey, Martin.
Got it.
Yep.
Gary got it. That's all that's important.
Martin,
I got
are
it
you there?
too.
Yeah.
I sent you the. I finally figured out GIMP finally and made a thumbnail. Finally.
Nice.
That's what I was.
The one thing I didn't tell you, well, didn't actually say, is that YouTube is filled with more GIMP tutorials than actually of Photoshop tutorials.
Yeah. Here, this one's for you, Mephisto.
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
My favorite line in the movie.
One
What
of
a
my
movie is
favorite
that?
clips ever.
My favorite line is there are Jews at my table.
Oh, that one's good too. By the way,
My
That's
favorite
Lisa
line-
Edelstein, by the way, and she's a old friend of mine. I don't talk to her anymore, but I love her. She was so funny when I first met her. And the next line is, "People who talk in metaphor should shampoo my crotch."
yeah. Look at that, Gary. Halen Place is blowing up your ego.
Oh, I don't need ego stroking, but thank you.
No, you
I am a
does.
genius.
My favorite line in that movie is, in fact, you make me want to be a better man.
I want
me,
to
that's the
rewatch that
line.
movie now.
He was hoping for just something that would keep her from leaving, and then he
Yeah.
floors her.
Yep. And he ruins it.
He can't help himself. It's so fucking funny when you watch him. He's so self-destructive.
And in the morning, he comes in with such indignation and he looks at Simon and is like, "Did you have sex with her?" And she's
I
like,
know.
"It's better than sex. We held each other." And he looks at him again. It's like, "Did you have sex with her?" She just told you they haven't. Plus, he's gay, dude. He's gay. He's mega gay. Super gay.
Mega
Uber gay.
gay.
He's mega gay.
I like mega gay. Do we know
Simon
the answer to
Simon
that?
is such a great character. Greg Kinnear
Here's
cannot
another
top
great line.
Simon.
Um, if you can't be even moderately interesting, I mean, I'm drowning here, and you're describing the water.
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
Hey, I got a better one. Not from this movie, of course. As You Wish.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with it.
Here's another great one. Marriage.
My
Yeah.
rage.
One of my favorite lines in the film, though, is when she comes and she goes, Senor, would you be so kind as to take his dog out to walk and to make sure? He's like, oh, yeah, sure. Oh, you're such a wonderful man. And if you would you go into his apartment? Will you make sure to open his curtain so he can look out into the world and see what a wonder that God has made? Where do they teach people like you to talk like that? In some Panamanian sailor want a hump pump bar? Or is this last day at the boss's whiskey? Go sell crazy somewhere else. We're all stuffed up here.
We have that
God
clip somewhere
damn,
too,
that's a
I
great
think.
line, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
I memorized so many lines from that film because
I
it is,
wish
in my opinion, the
You've
best
seen it a
Nicholson role.
million times, Gary.
I wish I could memorize all the lines that I want. I wish I had that talent. There's so many great lines that I know like half of them or quarter of them, and I can't get them right because they're right in my head. I know them. I know where they're from, but I can't get them out to my goddamn face. It is
I'm
what it is.
good at that, but I need to see it multiple times. Like my dad and I, we talk in opera lines. And people are so weirded out by that, but that's because we have listened to these operas or played in them or worked on them so many times that it's just stuck in your head. And there's a quote for every situation possible. I just haven't had the chance to watch movies that often for lines to really stick, but they do stick. Where did Martin go?
I don't know. He said, fuck this show.
Yeah.
He
He said
Oh, he
Nicholson.
changed his
Nope,
mind
I'm
and came
out.
back. That's it. I'm
Nope,
out of
I'm
here.
out.
couldn't be
But
with
that
us for
line
another
really
5
did
minutes.
floor me when he said it. When he gets up in the workstation there at the restaurant and he goes, there are Jews at my table. And I'm like, what the fuck?
The thing about
Blew
that
me away
scene,
too, yeah.
it inadvertently met two actors that later on did House.
That's right. Both of them were in House.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
show.
Lisa Edelstein was Dr. Cuddy.
I know
Yeah,
that. I'm trying to think of the other one.
The other
In
one
the
is
final seasons, when House called for 3 more interns, the doctor that was married was was him.
yeah,
And
it was
number
a
13.
it was a plastic surgeon
Yeah, he was a
that wanted
plastic
to do
surgeon.
more like better medicine, more interesting medicine.
I don't think I watched House until the very end. I think I dropped out before that. I know about Lisa being on House.
The first 3 seasons are clearly the best. They have the best cases, the more interesting puzzles.
Anybody for the new House?
What?
I thought they redid House, but I could be wrong.
No, it's called something else, but it's essentially House
Oh, the
with
Good
the black
Doctor.
dude.
No, I wasn't going there. I was
Well,
gonna
House
say
wasn't
that,
even.
no.
Are
one
you
with
talking
the-
about the Good Doctor with the guy that's got autism?
Oh yeah.
No, I
That's
wasn't going there.
Different. It's not really House.
I only watched the first season. I liked it though.
Yeah, once they got political and started doing the mask mandate thing and really focusing on it, I complained that no show should be doing that because it dates the show.
Wait,
The minute you do that, it dates the show.
Wait,
You know when it took place.
so you mean, yeah, but isn't Doc the Doc show that came out in this year? Wouldn't you classify that as a knockoff of House?
I don't know. Oh, Watson.
No. Here, I'll drop the show that
Yeah,
I'm
because
talking.
it tries to be like House and tries to be Sherlock Holmes without Sherlock Holmes. It's stupid.
Hold on. Drop the show I'm talking about in private chat. the link.
Yeah, it's with the black dude.
Not this show.
Let me see.
I mean, there.
No. That's something else. I'm telling you, there's a show.
That's what I was talking about, but I guess you're wrong. I mean, I guess I'm wrong. Go figure.
There's a show. I don't know what it's called because I didn't care. But it's a guy that doesn't care about. It is Watson. It is Watson.
I told you it was.
It's not that he's trying to be like Sherlock Holmes without being Sherlock Holmes. It's a guy that doesn't care about people, like their feelings and that sort of thing. He also has a team of 3 people, and they solved complex medical problems.
You know why he's called Watson?
Yeah.
And his boss is I think a Latino woman, but she's essentially Lisa Cuddy. Essentially.
Okay, let me explain something to you. The show House is Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
He lives at 221B Baker Street, apartment B.
He's not House.
Wilson
he is Watson.
is his Watson. Wilson
Yes.
is Watson in House. And all they did here is they took that and they race swapped it, and it's still not very good. It's repackaged and it's just garbage.
I mean,
the whole beginning
it's in the title
of the show. The whole beginning of the show is after Reichenbach falls, when Holmes faked his death, and the show is just so badly written. It's not even good medical drama. I'm so irritated with what they did here. I tried watching the first episode, and I think I lasted 10 or 15 minutes, and I went, okay, I'm done. I can't.
I don't even want
show
to try and
has
watch
no reason
this.
to exist.
Yeah.
It rides on the shoulders of Sherlock Holmes, and in reality, if you know the history of Sherlock Holmes, he's not dead. He's hiding. It's just so stupid. Just I thought, why did just come up with another fucking name? Just you didn't have to do this. It was stupid. Good cast though. I love all the cast except for Eve Harlow. I don't think she can act worth a shit. But Richie Coster, this guy is an amazing fucking actor right here. He is so good. And I like the guy Morris Chestnut. Good actor. He's a good actor. But I think it's a terrible in concept. It's a terrible show. It is ripping off House.
It's ripping off and race swapping the main character, and that's such a turn off that I don't even want to give it a try.
You're so racist, honey.
No, I'm not. And I really like what they did with the original, naming the show House MD, because of course MD stands for medical doctor. It also stands for medical detective. Huge fan of that show.
I recently rewatched the whole show, including the seasons that I've kind of half skipped an episode here and there.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's just at a certain point, it just lost the medical thing and did more personal relations thing, and it's just
it always happens with shows like that when they go on for too long. I only watched one episode together with Gerry because it had a veteran in it, and it somehow came up in conversation, and then he was like, yeah, why don't you find that episode and we watch it? But yeah, I like
Which one are you talking about? House? Are we talking about House?
Yeah. We only watched one episode of House because the patient was a veteran. That's why you were interested in going back and rewatching it. I remember I was so shocked when I heard him talk in an interview, and I was like, oh, that's what he sounds like for real. I had no idea.
Quite English.
It's the same with the guy who plays the mentalist. I keep forgetting his name. First time I heard an interview with him, I was like, oh, wow, mind blown. They just pull it off, man. They completely
Some people can do it. Not ever English. What Australians and Englishmen have a tendency of going nasal when they try to simulate an American accent.
A lot of American people talk nasally.
Well, there's
an outsider.
Well, let me tell you this. the first time I heard Sam Worthington speaking with his native accent, I couldn't understand a word he said.
Really?
Yeah,
I could with these guys. I was just like, wait, are they pulling off a character now? Or is this, but they really sound like it, they're pulling off the character in the show. So weird. Absolutely weird.
Yeah, it's like Christian Bale did that too, because he actually stays in his American accent when he was doing Batman and doing the publicity tour.
Wasn't he? He was also. What about
even in
Newsies?
his rant, he had an American accent. He was chewing that guy.
I was gonna say he had an American uh, English accent in Newsies too. I mean, I could, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, he
but-
never did an American accent until he played Batman.
Or
Oh wait,
so that-
no, he did it with American Psycho too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So was
did
he
American
British?
Psycho.
Was he his British accent in Newsies then?
Yeah, I do believe so.
I would have known. I didn't hear
That
it.
movie's better than.
That's better
that
than the
remake.
remake. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I'd
much.
never watch that remake.
Well, I went to go see the play. That was a. I wouldn't have a problem if they didn't. I mean, I knew they were gonna change stuff, but I didn't think wasn't woke as in the current woke, but it wasn't what I thought it would be play wise. But I guess I wasn't. I guess I thought it'd be close to
I give
the
up.
Bale movie. But anyways,
We have 200 comments, and nobody's read any comments to me because I'm drawing. At least I'm supposed to.
Because people are talking all the time, Gary.
I know, but at least
There's no
star
point
them.
in holding them up.
If you
You can say, "Shut up." Let's read comments.
Jack tells Cuba, think white and get serious. Yeah, that was a good one. Connection with Pop. Yeah. Remakes. Yep. Just picturing Holmes sending unsigned letters criticizing Watson.
Oh, and Watson is absolutely going to know that's Holmes. No, she has not.
Yeah, I loved him in the Blackadder series.
Never seen it. That's
Oh,
a good
second
diagnosis,
lead for
those
this.
stains.
Oh,
Regardless.
if you've
Whoa!
seen House, and suddenly you see Blackadder season 3, you are shocked. Shocked.
Oh, that's
'Cause-
another show. Fuck, I was hoping that was a movie. I can't keep track with so many shows. Gary just started me on another one today, Lincoln Lawyer. I'm like, when do I watch all these shows that are like 7 seasons in, 15 episodes
So-
each? When am I going to watch all this?
Gambit 87 is here. Bill Barkley, of course, John O'Staines, D. Bud Martin, Ariel Ballette, Hale and Place, Low Spec Linux, Real Wade Nation. Of course, Wade's here with us right now. Sandra Hammer Schlag. I always say Schlag. Read by Nature, and of course, Penny is here. Good to see everybody.
Sandra's a huge fan of the week, by the way. So he's probably sad that you've taken it off.
I think she's seen some of that. For some reason, I remember that in a conversation.
We might have watched some of that together, yeah. I know I've seen Hugh Laurie do kind of comedy where he's at a piano and stuff like that. Because I know he plays for real. I've known that.
That
early
was the
on.
one I showed you. That was from what he was
Yeah.
talking about.
I've known that he plays the piano early on in house because it looked so real. So I went and looked it up because growing up with musicians, I can tell. Are they faking it?
I loved
Have they
that.
been practicing or do they really play?
He was a regular on Craig Ferguson. And the first time he came on, Craig had this contest that if you could play harmonica, you'd win a golden harmonica or mouth organ, as he would call, because that's the old name for it. It was called the mouth organ. And Hugh Laurie came out there and won the golden harmonica because he showed that he could play harmonica.
Hi, Venkman's girl.
By Wade.
Oh, my Wade.
Wade leaving? See you, man.
Yeah, he always just says goodbye in chat, and then. Oh, he needs to prep for a show. Have a good show, Wade. Yeah, he wasn't on my radar until I came across House. That's the first time I've seen him in anything.
He's very talented.
And she saw Fry on another show we watched together called The Great Indoors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I
Which
want to
is
go
a
back
fun-
to that one, too.
That's a fun show. They ended it too soon.
Yeah.
Well,
Did
a
we
bit of
finish that?
No.
Gary,
Yeah,
did you
thought so.
watch a bit of Fry and Laurie?
Yeah.
I fucking love that duo. You know the backstory of how they met?
No.
No?
So they were both in, I think it was Cambridge. I think either Cambridge or the other one. Let's say Cambridge. So they both met at Cambridge, and Hugh Laurie was a rower at the time. He rowed for Cambridge against Oxford, right? Oxford and Cambridge have that rivalry for like hundreds of years.
Centuries, yeah.
Yeah. He was rowing for Cambridge. I think it was Cambridge. But they were in the same kind of friend circle. And they've met at someone's dormitory. And at the time, Hugh Laurie was dating Emma Thompson. And the one thing that caught Fry's eye was the fact that Hugh was eating a lot of hamburgers and he was not getting fat. And he didn't know about Stephen Fry didn't know about the rowing. But people who do a lot of aerobic activity, so cycling, rowing, all that stuff, they can eat tons of carbs and not get fat because their body is like in rest. It naturally burns everything. And he found that very interesting. And then when he got to know the Hugh Laurie, he's like, "Oh, our taste in music is the same, or our taste in literature is the same, and we kind of find the same things funny." So, and later on, they did The Young Ones together, which was a show with, again, a mutual writer friends of theirs. And from there, they kind of got mixed up with the whole Blackadder thing. Again, they were Cambridge, but Rowan Atkinson was Oxford. And they got mixed up together. It's sort of like the Monty Python kind of a thing, where half of them were Cambridge and the other half were Oxford, because one of them had the footlights. It was the Oxford had the footlights, which was the where you put on plays like experimental for the students, but you hone your skills. So the Cambridge dudes went to the footlights to do their act with the Oxford guys. That sort of a thing. It's very interesting that sort of the Fry Laurie thing happened sort of in the same vein, but not really, like the Monty Python crew. It's very interesting.
It is.
I had the Stephen Fry's biography. It's in one of, he has several. I've listened to a couple of them on audiobook. It's very interesting. The guy is very interesting. He's gay, but in the book, I think in the second book, He's like, I'm like 70% gay because I had sex with a woman that I found really attractive.
Okay. How do you
Yeah,
measure?
He was very
that's what he
manly.
said. That's what he said. It was like, I'm gay, but I'm like 70% gay. It's in the book. It's so funny. But the trick with coffee and tea I learned from Stephen Fry is I used to drink coffee with sugar and tea with sugar. But I wanted to cut the sugar down even before I got like this fat. And Stephen Fry is a big sugar head. He self-proclaimed because he's very tall, but he's very big too. And he always had that sugar thing ever since he was a kid. And he said I think it was on The Young Ones, he met this girl and the girl said, well, if you just try tea without sugar
Are you
for
talking
10
about the young ones with Vivian and Neil?
I don't know which. No, I think it was like a guest actress on The Young Ones, so not a regular cast member.
Oh, okay.
And
I just didn't remember them on there.
No. It's in the book. He tells the story. It's something backstage. They met at the lunch area, and
Commissary.
Commissary. The actress said, "Look, I've accustomed myself to drinking tea without sugar to like not be diabetic." And Stephen Fry, and it's like, how do you do it? It's like you have to force yourself to drink tea without any sugar for 10 days, and by the 11th day, when you accidentally put sugar in, you'll spit it out because it will taste too sugary even for you. And Steven was like, I don't think this is true. He tried it, and yeah, by the 7th day, he accidentally, not the 11th, but by the 7th day, he accidentally put a half a teaspoon of sugar and he spit it out because it was way too sugary for even for him. And he was like, okay, now I can give up tea and coffee and drink no sugar. And I tried it. It works. It absolutely works. I cannot have any coffee with just a little bit of sugar in it or sweetener. I cannot drink this.
I never liked sweetener in them, like any sweetener or sugar. But yeah, you consume so much sugar via drinks. Gerry and I were talking about this the other day because the new government wants to ban sugary sodas on food stamps. Like when you get food money, you cannot buy sugary sodas. I think so too, because people will drink like a 2-liter bottle of those a day. That's so much sugar.
Yeah.
And then you need to remember everything you eat contains sugar, and your body turns it into sugar because that's what your brain needs.
Well, that's what your body processes as sugar.
I know.
Everything is converted to sugar.
The one thing you absolutely don't need is artificially added sugar to whatever you consume. So I think that's a good idea.
And technically, aspartame, saccharin, all the fake sugar actually does activate your insulin gland regardless if you eat sugar or not.
Has been debunked.
Which that's why people who like, oh, I'm eating hamburger, but I'm eating Coke Zero. I'm drinking Coke Zero, so it's fine.
Hold on, I thought that myth has been debunked like long ago.
No. It actually, fake sugar activates your insulin gland, which when it's overused, will cause diabetes type 2.
Really?
Yes. So I drink Coke Zero. If I drink Coke, I drink Coke Zero.
Same.
But I don't drink a lot of it. So I drink the small 330 can, milliliters, and I try not to drink too much, especially not like in a full. If it's a full day.
Dark sodas have something else in them that's not good.
Sodas?
They have phosphates.
Dark sodas.
Dark
Oh.
sodas have phosphates in them, and it's
Yeah.
not good for you. I remember this one idiot though took diet soda, boiled it down, and there's a video out there, you can find it. And the guy boils it down, and he goes, "There's nothing," because that's not normal. And I'm like, the reason why is because in regular sodas you have syrup. If you boil soda down, regular soda, you get syrup. If you boil all the water out of it, if you boil all the water out of diet soda, you have nothing. It's gone.
Well,
It's
hold
gone.
on. If it's made
'Cause there's
with
no syrup.
Wait, if it's sweetened with Splenda or sucralose, there should be something like syrup left.
No. Sucralose, all sucralose is a sugar alcohol, which does not trigger that
Okay,
response.
Splenda then, because
Which
he
is
told
why
me you
I
can use
say-
Splenda in baking and to make caramel.
Yeah. If you add the elements that are required to make caramel to
Oh,
it,
okay.
other than the
Okay.
sugar, it reacts to the butter. To make caramel, you need butter. So you add butter, and the sucralose, the crystallization in it begins to thicken. You also do need to add, because it doesn't thicken all the way like sugar does. So they recommend adding cornstarch. So it thickens
Yeah.
like regular. Fuck you.
I would not
We're
know. I would
delicious.
not add that to no. If I want caramel, you need butter and you need cream. A little bit of cream or milk.
Oh, and you
sugar,
add that
that should be
too. You
fine.
add whole cream to it.
Cornstarch and sugar, that's weird. It's the first time I heard in caramel.
Well, when I used to make fried apples for Zoe, I told her and showed her the quick, easy way to make it is you put butter down, you melt it, you add the brown sugar, spices, and a little bit of regular sugar, and then you add cornstarch to water, and you boil the apples. And instead of caramelizing, you use butter for flavoring in the water, and you boil it down and add the cornstarch, and it thickens just like regular caramel, and it's less fattening.
Hold on. If you have apples in there, apples have pectin. That's a binder in itself. Why would you need additional cornstarch?
Because it won't thicken without it, because you're boiling it in water.
But that should
Instead of-
activate the pectin too.
If you did it, the pectin can activate all it fucking wants. There's not enough in there to thicken it. So you add the cornstarch to thicken it, and then you put it like I taught her how to make low sugar, low fat. What do you call them? Grapes with fried apples on them. And I don't know if she remembered how to cook any of the shit that I do know she remembers how to make cornstarch scratch pudding, real pudding, the old school way. I don't like flour in pudding because it tastes weird to me.
Yeah, no. If I make pudding from scratch, I go for cornstarch, not for flour.
Yeah, it tastes weird to me.
It's finer too.
Let me. We're coming up on the end of the show here.
Ostains likes that we are a bunch of foodies.
I love talking about food. That's why I love
Same.
Bush so much, because Bush is a chef, and he makes interesting stuff that I like to see.
Yeah, he made an experimental lasagna last night. I wonder how that turned out. I haven't been able to check because Twitter keeps kicking me out before I get even to the messages. So, fuck you, Twitter.
All right.
What's the thing on his jacket?
What's that?
The thing on his jacket.
I haven't designed it of their club emblem. I don't know if I'm going to bother, because I don't want it to be misunderstood or thought as some actual gang, even though they are based on a specific gang. It's not who
Probably
most
best
people
to
think
leave
it
it
is.
vague.
You mean
For
the
second-
patch?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
patch.
Hmm.
It's probably best to leave it vague. Not go into detail.
I don't intend to. And if I did, it would be a fictional group.
The
It's too much
Mohicans.
effort, I think, to create a group for that.
Well, there is a real group, and it's a group that we dealt with when I was a kid out in Virginia, and I don't want to talk about them. Not on the show. I need to try making the pudding from scratch for the banana pudding my late aunt used to make. Yeah, it's really easy with the because I showed her how to make banana cream pie with the wafer cookies instead of a regular pie crust. You get a big old Pyrex dish, and you line it with the cookies on the bottom and around the sides. Set that aside, and you just make vanilla pudding. I do not add vanilla flavoring. I mean banana flavoring to it because it's a chemical taste. I don't. It's not natural. You get the natural banana flavor once you've made the pudding, and you add the sliced bananas to it, and then you pour it in and smooth it over. Then put a layer of Cool Whip, right? Is that some Cool Whip?
I hate how that sounds.
There's hair in
The
your
thing with-
pie.
Yeah. The thing with bananas is they are awesome also for binding, and they are the best, one of the best egg substitutes if you have to make desserts for vegan people or people who cannot have eggs. Go for bananas. They are awesome. I'm not a fan. I hate the texture, but they work in baking and desserts.
I'm going to put us back. Regular. There we go. All right.
Meringue, nice.
Okay, if you're gonna make meringue, it's really easy to make. I've made meringue.
It's egg whites and sugar or a substitute.
Yeah, it's just
That's all it
egg
is.
whites, and I use Splenda. You whip it. You whip it good.
Whip it good.
Stiff
and,
peaks. That's what it's called.
Take a good old whisk and just whisk the shit out of that egg white and the sugar, and then you put it on top, and then you put it in the oven, and just it doesn't even have to be in there that long. You just want to brown the tops of the peaks of the egg white, and it's so good.
Yeah, the important thing though is that you don't fuck up with the oven settings, because when you put it on where the oven blows the hot air, that's going to blow the meringue off.
I use
heat from above, heat
convection.
from below.
I use convection ovens only. It's like or ovens with gas heat. So because we're cooking with gas now.
You're cooking with some brown sugar?
I'm both looking forward to that gas stove and dreading it because I have zero experience with that. But I guess I'll learn.
Is that the oven where you open up the gas, put your head in, and die?
Yeah, you could do
Yeah.
that if you turn off the pilot.
You could.
Absolutely.
No. I never used it. I always
No, I mean,
had
the beautiful thing
an
is
electric
the heat
oven.
is
I don't know.
immediately there. The heat is immediately there. You don't need to wait. It's awesome. Professional chefs love gas ovens. I just have zero experience. Aside from the childhood holiday home that we had that had a gas oven that my mom would use, but usually because we were there in winter for ski holidays, so we used the old ancient wooden kitchen stove that would heat the whole house. And there was just this basically cast iron surface, which of course the area where you directly had the fire under was the hottest, and then you had the area where the baking part was in, and on top of that you would put stuff to keep it warm but not boil it. I never cooked on that thing. I was too young. Nobody would teach me. So
well, I'm used to cooking on gas, anything, but in the oven it's electrical.
I prefer electrical for baking because I remember my grandma taught me some of her Brazilian recipes, and with that wood-fired stove that we had that had the baking compartment, you had to rotate the stuff constantly because the fire was on the left side of the stove, and then middle to right side was the baking oven, quote unquote. So you had to rotate the stuff constantly because the heat from the left was intense and from the right there was nothing. So that was a pain in the ass.
My grandmother had an old I don't think it's gasoline, I think it's kerosene. Not oven, but a sort of a heating for the house. It always has that weird smell to it.
We had that.
However, she used it as a hot plate for the weekend. She wasn't really religious. She didn't care about like on the Sabbath and not cooking on the Sabbath. However, anything that you need like a long-term stew, that went on that oven. Or not oven, on that heating oven, really.
They can be so dangerous. But yeah, I remember that smell. We had that, and we had also gas lamps for light.
Yeah.
In the other holiday home on my mom's side of the family, where there was no electricity, no running water, nothing. The one on my dad's side had more of that luxury. But yeah, no, I don't miss gas lamps. They stink.
Yeah. It's a very distinct smell to it.
Yeah, I never liked it. I'm sensitive to those kinds of smells. Also, even as a kid, I used to get sick when I had to leave the car at a gas station just from the smell of the gasoline. Like, fuck off. Not for me. Leave me in the car. Keep the doors closed.
Well, with that, let's end the show, guys. It's really good hanging out with everybody. Oh man, I hated that. I was terrified of that as a kid. I was so glad when we finally got burners with a gas stove that had the little electric clicker that threw a spark that did it for you. I was terrified of I was going to get burned every time I light a match and have to light the burner. No way. Fuck that shit.
Gerry, were you there when I lighted the stove the first time and Lon showed me how? I don't think you were. I jumped back when the flame came up. I'm not used to that shit.
Yeah, this one's just basically you turn it to light and it auto lights for you, and then you turn it on. I remember because you just hear the electrical clicking because it's got the electrical thing. I remember lighting a match when I was a kid and hoping. Oh, I got to tell you, I got the shit burned out of me once. I wanted to, because we played war out in the sandbox. All the kids in the neighborhood, we had our little plastic soldiers. And we came up with this great idea that we're going to make wounded soldiers. So I melted some of them, started melting off limbs and shit. And I wasn't paying attention one day and I got it too much into the flame. And the molten plastic popped and landed on my wrist. And I was like, how old was I? About 11, I think, 10 or 11. And I was like, holy shit, run underwater. And then I'm like, I should probably tell my dad, but he's just going to call me a dumbass. So I'm just going to live with the pain. I even hit a broken arm from him for a day. And during the night, I started crying and whimpering in my sleep. And he woke me up. What's wrong with you, boy? And my arm had swollen up to like almost double its size. And next day he walked me to, because we didn't have a car at that point. He had to walk me 2 miles to the crack clinic to get X-rays and stuff. And yeah, my arm was broken. I tried to hide it from, put it behind my back. No, go ahead.
I had a similar thing with my knee. I sliced open my knee. I was literally playing baseball. I dove into home and my knee was split from one end to the next. And it was really bad, but I was 11. So I said, well, I'm just going to put a Band-Aid on it. So I put 6 Band-Aids on it. And it was the time where my parents were already split. And it was the day that my dad came to pick us up for the week thing. And he said, what's this? It's like, yeah, it's a nasty cut. And When I got home, my mom saw it, and it was literally up to the knee. You could have seen the kneecap. It was slashed up the way.
Nasty.
It's
Yeah.
like, boy, you're going to the hospital.
See, I
I
was shit
remember-
out of luck when it came to that thing because my
my
mom
dad-
trained as a nurse. There was no hiding
my-
shit like that.
My dad would have slapped my ass. Like,
Had he known?
because my knee didn't hurt. It didn't feel like it was hurting because it's just a clean slice. However, if he knew, that would have hurt me a lot.
I don't get that. Parents hurting their kids for getting hurt. It's what you do.
No. I'm joking. of course.
He wasn't meaning
My
that.
dad hit me once, and I deserved it, and I still feel it on my ass. Once, just the once. That's all.
My
it
dad
took.
had this thing. He had one knuckle, and there's an area on both sides of your skull where there's a hole, a foramen, where the nerves come out and spread. So it's a nerve plexus right here. And he would catch it every time when I would do something stupid. Because he was like, what's his name on NCIS, Mark Harmon's character.
Gibbs.
He'd smack me on the back of the head, or he'd use that knuckle and backhand me right there. And it would catch me almost every single time I fought. And Dad was like, I never did that. Fuck, you didn't.
He did the Gibbs Club, yeah.
But I played King Kong versus Godzilla with my buddy Doug Foster, who I'm still friends with to this day. We share a birthday, and we're both born May 19th, 1964. And Doug is this big, stocky, behemoth guy. Looks like he was stocky even when we were kids. He was unnatural. He looked like what's his name? The Blob or not the Blob. No, not the Blob. What is his name? Help me here. Nonstop. You can't stop him. The
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. He had that build like Juggernaut. Him and another guy had gigantic fucking builds. And he's playing King Kong and I'm Godzilla. And he took me and flipped me. And it didn't hurt at all when I hit the ground. I was laughing as I hit the ground. What I didn't know was there was a broken fucking bottle buried in the dirt, sticking slightly up, and it went right through my knee, right on the underside of it. And I stood up, and all of a sudden there's just blood pouring down my leg, and I'm rubbing my leg. I had no idea. I'm like, dang, I think I'm gonna get a bruise from that, And kids go, dude, you're bleeding, and I looked down and went, blood's pumping out, and I went, oh. And Doug Foster, that bastard, picked me up like a girl and carried me into the school, into the nurse's office, where she tried to bandage it a little bit. She looked at it, cleaned it up, and she's like, "Oh, this is bad." And so they had to call my dad, and he took me to the hospital. And everything was fine when I got to the hospital. Like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna have to give you stitches. I'm like, what's that? Well, we're gonna sew it closed because it's pretty gaping. And I went, oh, because when they looked in, they could see like tendons and they could see the base of my kneecap like yours. And they said, yeah, we're going to have to sew it up. And I'm like, okay. So I'm holding my dad's hand. I'm thinking, this will be fine. I can make it through this. But before we do, we need to give you a tetanus shot.
Oh, they suck.
In the ass.
Well, I'm confused as to whether they gave me a local anesthetic and then the tetanus. All I know is they took one of the needles and put it straight into the cut, the wound.
That's the anesthetic.
Okay.
That happened to me. I was watching it while they do it. It's essentially, I don't know if they had lidocaine back then.
I think it was lidocaine.
What age were you?
I was 10 when that happened.
So 74, 75?
Yeah, 74. 74 going to 75.
It was probably lidocaine.
Yeah. So they called in some extra nurses in because I began to go into panic mode. You're going to put that in. You're going to put that inside my cut, and I start going into panic mode. And it took all of them and my dad to hold me down as they jammed that syringe into my cut. And just as soon as it was over, I realized I had been screaming, not like a girl, but like a boy, la, and they pulled the syringe out and they wiped the area and they said, okay, it'll start feeling better, blah, 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 and then we'll put the stitches in. And I was so embarrassed of my behavior that I turned stupidly to my father and I said, hey, did I scream okay, Dad? Was that a pretty good scream?
Oh God.
He went, yes, I know. That was a really good. Are you retarded? What?
Things only Gerry would say.
So no, I'm
Wasn't
not bothered by
wasn't a
needles.
scream, it was a war cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they did the blood draw on me, when the doctor misdiagnosed me, and it wasn't like he did a full diagnosis. He suspected I had leukemia. Why? Because I had petechial hemorrhages under both my eyes. And he goes, that's something that you only see with leukemia. What he didn't know was that my dad was the judge, and we were having a contest between my friends and I who could do the most push ups. And I won. And I did like 200 push ups. And military grade, by the way, because my dad was the judge. I did 200 push-ups. I won, but in the process, I was straining so much at the last 50. I was just like, oh, I was shaking, and I'm like, I'm gonna beat these motherfuckers, and I won. But then the next day, I had petechial hemorrhages under my eyes. My dad took me to the doctor, and not putting two and two together, doctor thought I had leukemia. I walked in on my dad crying in the kitchen because he thought I had leukemia and was going to die. And I'm like, why are you crying? Oh, weird. Walked out of the room like, my dad's in the other room crying.
That is how Gerry was officially diagnosed with being stupid.
So they ran the test. I didn't have leukemia. And then the doctor's like trying to figure out these petechial hemorrhages. And he says, did you do anything strenuous? And I went, yeah, the night before I did 200 push-ups. And he looked at my dad and he looked back at me and he goes, do you think you could have told me that before? And I'm like, nobody asked me. Nobody asked me. My dad should have said it. He was there. He was the one doing the counting.
Hey, but listen, when parents are worried, my mom brought me to the doctor because I had rashes all over. By the time it was bedtime, it was summer, and she got us in for dinner and washing and getting us bed ready, and I had rashes all over. She was like, what the fuck is wrong with my kid? I was 4 years old. So next day off, we go to the doctor, and the doctor is like having no clue what's going on with me. And eventually she questions my mom about what's been going on the past couple of days. And eventually my mom realizes, okay, my dad has been fucking busy with the orchestra and rehearsals and tours, so he hadn't been able to mow the lawn. So when lawn grows big, you get clover, you get daisies, all kinds of shit. With that come the bees. And we were 3 little kids under 4 years old, so we were not allowed out in the garden. The day before, my dad had finally come around to be able to mow the lawn. That was nothing my mom could do with 3 little kids on her own. So my dad mowed the lawn, and out we went and played, and I'm allergic to grass. But that took them a whole day to figure out, and my mom was panicking.
That was just allergies, yeah.
I looked terrible. I was swollen, I had rashes all over. Nobody knew what was going on, and eventually it was just freshly cut grass. Sometimes it's simple as that.
Well, whatever helps you sleep at night, bitch.
Fuck you.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. I'll say bye to everybody. Gambit87, Bill Barkley, John Ostains, D. Bud Martin, Hell in Place, Low Spec Linux Gaming, Real Wade Nation, Read by Nature, Sander Hammer, and thanks for dropping in, Wade. Sander Hammerschlag, Penny, Peter Vinkman Fansite, Vinkman's Girl, and I think that's it, isn't it? That's it. So thanks everybody for being in the chat. Hope everybody had fun today. It was fun. I had fun. I loved Mephisto talking about stuff, man. It was a blast.
Thank you.
So
Always
I appreciate it, guys.
It's as if I do this professionally for a long, long, long time.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing the movies again. But while we're talking about the movies, I'm still going to continue drawing because I've got to draw. And then on Wednesdays, we'll be just dedicated to having artists on. So we'll have Mike and Joe and some other people on. So it'll.
Mike can't join us on Wednesdays, Gary. The only day
I forgot.
Saturday.
Yeah. And
so when we do the movies and you draw, are we going to have a slideshow or are we still going to watch you draw?
Slideshow. We talk about the movie.
Okay.
And then I will be over in my window drawing. Because it's what I do. I want to thank everybody for being here. Mephisto, thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in, Wade. Thanks, Martin, for being the right side of my brain. And Anima Confusa, thank you for loving me and stuff.
And stuff.
And stuff. So we're going to get the hell out of here. Everybody have a great, what is today? Friday, right?
Yep.
Friday.
Yeah, I don't know what day of the week it is.
Technically, it's Saturday already.
Yeah, for me too.
For you.
For
you. Don't forget, John will be playing later, so make sure to join and watch him get killed a lot. It's always fun. So then we'll see you again tomorrow for Saturday Drinking Round. Then we're going to get back to watching movies in the next week. So we will see you guys later. Hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta luego. This whole time, Satan hasn't even appeared once. Still too loud.
Y'all come